So I'm recording this on my phone, but I really wanted to kind of record this after um, I'm on my meal break at my job, and I just really want to get this out. I It just seems like nothing is working out for me. Um, and let me just get started. It's warm today, so I thought I'd come outside and do this in these last 15 minutes. So I wanted to talk about the things that were good about my father. I took a second to write several things down. I kind of want to get back to using this time to work on goals, Act One goals, but this is part of it, okay? Because today was frazzled for different reasons, and I want to make sure that I get to sleep at a decent time. Because I've been better with that, and I want to kind of not make mistake trying to record something and then getting to sleep late. I have to manage my time, be intentional, and manage my time better. So the first thing is that, um, and I'm like I say, I'm doing this because I don't know where I'm going with this, but I need to. I don't know why I'm making videos. Maybe it's not a good idea. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. So the first thing is that, oh yeah, and I will probably I don't it's like kind of a little bit all over the place. So I it's like a Horcrux in Harry Potter where it's like scattered and all over the world in different places, and that's kind of how it feels. So eventually I think all of these pieces will come together. Um so the first good thing is education, and my father was the first in his family to go to college, and he comes from a city in the deep south of the United States. And Georgia, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia, Phoenix City, Alabama. And basically, he grew up during segregation and integrated to school in his youth. And um, I just wish that these experiences had been parlayed so that could help me, us. Excuse the noise in the background. I'm still next to the street, so I'm sorry. Excuse me. Those were the sheets of paper. Um, and so with that said, is that I have a grandmother who dropped out of high school in 10th grade. She was pregnant with my father, so young motherhood, teen motherhood, 14, 15 years old. I'm trying to figure out a lot of things, and you know how you don't always want to share every single detail, but I think it's okay to probably share these things because I kind of it's helpful. So there's other things too, but I'll say more later. But what happened is that parlayed into, you know, where when my parents were married, which, no history of this, like a wedding or like, I don't know these things, right? But when they were married, I think that was like a 17-year marriage. Like they would, there's a school called Marbert Elementary just outside of Georgia, or excuse me, just outside of Atlanta in Lithonia, a small city called Lithonia. And my parents waited at 3 a.m. so that we could register for this school. And it was supposed to be like a culturally centered approach. So you would learn from a Black perspective. And it was a really great experience. I mean, we got into the school because my parents valued education and wanted us to have this experience. We wore uniforms. I loved my science teacher. I loved social studies. I just really loved this experience. Loved English, loved music classes. Um, so also, when I went to a private school in the city and got in, where my mom had helped me apply to the schools, different schools, my father paid some of the tuition, and basically, I believe I had financial aid and a scholarship, and still there was still a fee to it, even with all of that. Um, so this was valued, education was valued, but the thing is that's also where my wound lies, where my father wound lies. And I did talk about that in upcoming videos if I have the courage to. But this But if I needed help with physics or chemistry, my father would help me. He had wanted to be a doctor. I learned why do I learn just this year that he has a just in 2024 that he has a master's degree in molecular biology, I think. And he studied chemistry at a college called Fort Valley State University, which is also, I think that's in southern Georgia as well. Um, and basically, you know, he wanted to be a doctor and did not. I'm not sure what the series of events that happened that led to this not taking place, but basically, being a doctor didn't work out, and I think it'll be helpful to know so I can understand. He became a science teacher and taught in Atlanta public schools. And again, this is going to be, I'll talk about my wound with this because it's hard to articulate. So basically, he taught at schools like Tri City, Southside High School, Morrow High School. That's not Atlanta, that's another city in Georgia. And basically, when I needed help with chemistry or physics, he helped me. He brought books that he would use to teach, and sometimes the books that he used were easier for me to understand. I remember at least one time, I think this was like in chemistry, learning about the different types of bonds, like covalent bonds, if I remember. The book that he had was easier to understand than the book that I had in high school. So, you know, this was helpful. And so I value education now, I know, as a result of you know, what he valued, what my mom valued. But we're talking about my father right now. My mom is cool. Um, all right, the second thing is that things we did for fun. So this is another good thing. So when I was young, like maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, these types of ages, we will go to a place called Destin, Florida, which is, I think that's like close to the Georgia Florida line. There's a beach, and I remember as a kid loving like the seashells, going, loving the sand in my feet, loving the water. Excuse me, that's the paper again. I had a younger sibling that was stung by a jellyfish. Even I remember how traumatic that was, and then how they made it through. You know, um, but that's an example. That's a great memory that I have. I remember the beautiful magnets. So basically, that we went to Stone Mountain Park, which I always loved the laser show. My father took us to Stone Mountain Park a lot of the time. They had fishing. They had thing called a sky ride. They had like a choo choo train. I remember a general goods store that would have Laffy Taffy being, stretched in the window as we like would go across the railroad tracks. And like the song "Proud to Be an American." That's the song that you know, I still remember it for to this day as being attached to the end of the laser show. There's more I could say about that, but there's just a lot of different things that we did growing up. Like we would go pick pecans sometimes in the fall. I remember Saturday mornings I would have dance class, and we would listen to Youngblood on the radio, listen to the stations like the oldie stations, go to Decatur School of Ballet. Sometime later, Balletnik, when we did the Leopard Tail, that was a black dance company, black dance studio, although they were open to working with everybody. Um, uh, and I had a lot of good memories with my father growing up. Um, I remember he was also very honest about his family, about feeling ashamed to come from this background. Um, and there's more I could say, but he would sometimes say they're ignorant, and there's a lot. But I'm gonna end there because I need to get back from this break and clock in on time. But that's what I wanted to say, and hopefully I'll be able to talk about more. Like I said, my life isn't where I want it to be, and I'm gonna say just yet. But I'm gonna keep putting one foot in front of the other, and kind of making and these videos are helping me to do that, and also helping me to work through things. So I don't know what could become of that from that perspective. And thank you if you did watch, and until next time, thanks. Bye.